MultiCon celebrates fandom, but not just celebrating fandom. We're giving back to the community. What does it feel like to be a part of an event that's celebrating the LA wildfire relief?
I love the city of Los Angeles. Beautiful people out here, man, and seeing everybody come together and show love for one another and show Los Angeles has family love and community here is just so beautiful. So I'm all about it. You know, I'm all about working with different charities out in Los Angeles. I've been doing that for years, and so when they call me up, I'm like, let's get it.
Listen, Good Burger has this rabid fan base that's been around for years. 4 years. What surprises you the most about the fandom still loving the show and embracing it the way that they do, and even giving it new life?
Bro, it's been amazing with, part 2 breaking records, and, you know, me still, like, dressing up as Ed and people going crazy. I dropped my kids off at school, and the kids are screaming. I just did an event with my daughter for her Girl Scout troop, and they were going crazy over Ed, you know what I mean? So all these years, it's just been awesome. It's a blessing, man. I was talking to Keenan about that, for us to still be doing it, and people just loving it all these years. It's great.
Now that you've had a chance to reflect on Ed a little bit, what's something you learned about yourself through playing Ed after all these years?
Let me see. I don't know, man. I just love the journey. You know what I mean? The journey of all of it. You know what I mean? In life, you know, even outside of entertainment, just enjoying it and touching people's lives. Because hearing people's stories, that's the best part. You know, like how it touched them, where they watched it, where they were in their life, what it meant to them. That's cool.
MultiCon not only celebrates fandom, but also is giving back to the community. What's it mean for you to be a part of the LA wildfire relief, celebrating that?
I mean, this is what we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? The reason we are put here on this earth is to help each other out. And so when they called me about this, being that I love LA and I love the people here, there was no way I was going to say no.
Char, listen, Good Burger has an incredible fan base. People love those films. To you, now looking back all these years later, not only have the fans loved it, but they've also kept it alive. So what's it mean to you to be a part of a franchise that has been that successful?
It's crazy because I didn't realize how amazing it was until I started doing cons and running into fans and hearing their stories and how much they love it. And I'm kind of just mind blown and excited at the same time. It's exciting. I've always wanted to be a part of a franchise of something super cool. And so who knew that I already was?
Right, exactly. Now, look, I'm a big fan of Moesha growing up. It was one of my jams. Talk to me about your experience working on that show and reflecting on that show.
Okay, so Moesha was, definitely my longest gig ever. And everybody on that cast, family, will always be family. And we had the time of our lives just exploring all these different stories and feelings and growing up in front of the world and growing up together. And it was crazy and a huge part of my life. I know it's over 20 years old now, but it is still such a huge part of my life.
Man, you got to work with the incredible director George Lucas himself on Star Wars. What was that experience like?
You know, after all these years, I started to appreciate being able to work with them a hell of a lot more. You know, they've created so much more Star Wars, which people have been able to come into the Star Wars family. But, you know, you don't realize that I got to be directed by George Lucas himself. And it's the creator, the writer himself created the whole entire thing, you know, directed me in Star Wars. And, you know, I love him. He changed my life in so many ways, in positive ways. And not only did he change my life, but he changed my family's life as well. And I don't think many people acknowledge that. You know, not only as actors we get to have these opportunities, but when you get an opportunity like Star Wars, it actually helps to not change your life, but could change your family's lives as well. So I love George Lucas, you know, he's like a god to me.
We've seen a lot of other Star Wars actors portray other roles in the universe. Ahmed Best just recently came back. Is there a Star Wars kind of character that you'd like to portray now that you're an adult?
You know, it's crazy because I worked out with Ray Park, and I learned martial arts with Ray Park for, 12 years, 15 years. And being able to learn from someone like him, it really taught me a lot, and I learned the bow staff, I learned the double-handed lightsaber, and I thought it would be pretty cool to be a Maul. You know, he called me young blood and kind of treated me like his little brother, so I figured, you know, it'd be a cool opportunity to come back and be a Maul and have some horns, you know. So I like the dark side and the bad characters.
Look, not only MultiCon is celebrating fandom, but we're also giving back to the community. Talk to me about what it feels to be a part of an event like this, supporting the LA California wildfire relief.
It feels really wonderful to be able to use what we have in order to make a difference. I think sometimes people think that you have to, you know, step outside of your comfort zone, but there are ways that are come very naturally and very easily to this community to mobilize and make a difference.
Look, High School Musical, I was just at a panel for them at MegaCon, and that fan base is rabid. They are loud, they're spirited. Talk to me, did you think that they would have such a lasting effect to keep everything with High School Musical alive the way it is?
I never expected it. I mean, next year will actually be 20 years since High School Musical came out, and so that means that like all the people that grew up are now in their 20s and 30s and have families of their own and are introducing it to another generation. I never would have imagined that this would have happened.
If there was a High School Musical class reunion, where would your character be now?
If I'm not the president, I definitely am somewhere in the political sphere.
Now, I was just recently at a High School Musical panel at MegaCon, and those fans are great. They're a wild bunch. How do you feel the massive fan base? Did you expect to have it for them to have such a lasting impact?
Absolutely not. And once again, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. The Wildcats out there are everything. They are diehard fans. And I love that they not only were fans, but now they're passing it on to the next generation. And that is truly a gift for us. Every actor dreams of catching lightning, and to have it be something so special to so many people and to become a classic is truly, truly unbelievable.
Okay, so if we can get a class reunion, where would your character be?
Okay, so I personally think that Martha went on to become a famous choreographer, and she is out there crushing it. So that's what I'm putting out into the universe.
Now, look, The Walking Dead is such a cultural phenomenon, and at this point now, it's been on forever. Looking back, when you first started the show, could you have imagined that it is where it is now in the cultural zeitgeist?
No. You know, I grew up going to comic conventions before, you know, comic conventions were maybe even before they were in the popular sort of consciousness. And, you know, specifically zombie stuff was even in the fringes of that. Sure. You know, you'd have your Star Treks, you'd even have stuff like The Prisoner and stuff like that, but zombie stuff was always a little on the side, and it really is a tribute to Robert Kirkman to sort of just figure out the brilliant question, you know, what if a zombie movie never ended? Sure. But Robert also brought his humanity to it, having real characters and real stakes, because you love those characters. It's a small equation that he came up with, a brilliant one, and the audience loves it. I was part of that audience, and I love it, and I'm real proud to keep doing it, and the audience seems to still want more, thank God. I know I do.
I do too. Hey, listen, we started off, this show started off in the South in the United States. Now it's expanded worldwide. I'm talking in universe now. We're in Europe. What are the locations you'd like to see The Walking Dead visit next?
There's one that we're working on that I'm very, very excited to see that we've never been there before. I know that I basically said, I'd love to see it in Tokyo. I would love to see it in Africa. I would love to see it in Iceland. I know that's a weird one, but you know, I mean, we want to span the globe because there's stories all over the globe. Daryl Dixon, you know, it's so integral to his story, but even beyond that, we want to go. We want to see other characters throughout the world and how they're faring. And we have had a lot of experiments to that. We've actually done really cool stories towards that. They just haven't come to fruition for this reason or that. But I will say, you know, by doing them, I've essentially seen those shows in my brain, and I really like them.